What is up, everybody? My name is Justin. This is Forever Self-Employed, and in today's video, we're going to be doing a podcast with Tim O'Laughlin. He has a painting business, a vending business, and also a YouTube channel, and he's also worked with creators such as Jamie Farnsworth and Reyes the Entrepreneur, so we're going to figure out how he was able to do that. So this podcast is definitely worth a listen. The first part of it's going to be more about the painting business, how he grew his business in the beginning and everything else to do with that. The middle is going to be about YouTube, and the back end is going to be mostly about vending. So if you guys want to skip around, you can. I'm also going to probably cut this up into smaller segments and post those videos throughout the course of the next however long. So my name is Justin. This is Forever Self-Employed. Make sure you guys check out Tim. I will leave links to him down below in the comment section, and leave a thumbs up on the video and a comment down below if you enjoyed it. Catch you guys later. Peace. All right, Tim, what is up, man? How are you today?
Dude, I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. So happy that you could join me on the podcast today. I think this is episode 5. I'm pretty sure.
Dude, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me and having me.
Absolutely, man. Awesome. So what I want to talk about today is obviously your painting business, your vending business, your side hustles, and then the YouTube channel. But before we get into that, I wanted you to kind of give us some background and tell us about your music career, and then how that ultimately led you to where you are today.
Okay, so starting off with music. So how far back you want to go? So let's see.
Just give me like a brief synopsis of like how you got here.
All right, a little 30-second rundown. So started a band in like late high school, maybe like junior year, senior year. I was a real athletic at the time, but then I stopped doing sports to pursue the music. So we started a band, couple crappy ones, a few really, really, really crappy ones, and then landed with about 4 of my good buddies. And then we put together some songs, and then graduated high school, jumped in a van, and took off for like 40 days or something like that. And then we played, I think we only missed like 2 or 3 days. So we traveled all the way from California, Central Valley, where I live, all the way to Daytona Beach, and playing a show along the way, and then playing all the way back home. And then we did a couple more up and down California.
How'd you guys do that? Did y'all like book them out, or?
So yeah, dude, MapQuest. I don't know if you know if
y'all just like showed up to venues and were like, "Hey, can we perform tonight?" Or? So
basically, like, okay, so say you were gonna book a show at your local bar, right? Well, we were just doing that, but just calling to Florida, Louisiana, wherever we could just call, man. You get an index of clubs, bars, and places that play live music. It was an old website,
right?
And you just call them, man. Hey, my band's coming through. You guys host live music? And they'd be like, yeah, what date you want? You give them the date that you're coming through. And then you say, hey, can we get like $100? And they're like, yeah, we'll give you $100. And then, or no, we won't give you, well, whatever, just make it work, And then basically each show pays to get to the next show. That's pretty much just how it went, man. It was a cool summer.
So didn't you get pretty big with it? You were doing shows, all around the country and stuff?
Yeah. So we traveled all around the country playing, and then we got back, and then, I slowed down, and I had my first daughter, right? So I was 19, 20 years old. I had my first daughter. Right. And then we kind of just played locally, like regionally for the longest time. Eventually the band split up, and it's hard to travel. I really wanted to be a dad. So, everybody else wanted to really keep traveling, but it wasn't working out. Then later on, I always had like a hip hop like project in the back burners. And that band we were just talking about was like a skate punk band.
Right.
And I had this side project, like a hip hop project with a buddy of mine. So once the punk band kind of died out, then I kind of focused on the hip hop stuff. So we wrote a few albums, and then a few years later, we started a little production company with a friend of ours. Mm-hmm. And we just started hiring like headlining acts to come in, and then we charged tickets. And then, hopefully we'd get it was cool because we'd made a little money. And then on top of that, we, got to play with some of the people we grew up listening to, some people like, we looked up to and stuff. So like,
right.
For instance, like E40, Too Short, Yin Yang Twins, stuff like that. You pay them to come play, you host the thing, It was cool, man. It was a crazy time in my life for sure.
That's awesome. So like were you always in California, or did you go there specifically for music?
No, so I grew up here in California. Yeah, born and raised.
Cool. Okay. And then the kind of reason why we talked about the music thing is, the weird thing is that like a lot of the people in the entrepreneurial space also started with music. Cause I know myself, Aaron, we all kind of like were, into music, making music, and just something about that. We all share that same entrepreneurial drive as well. So it's just like it's an interesting dichotomy, if you will.
I mean, you almost you kind of have to. A lot. I think there's a lot of similarities. A lot of the boxes get checked off on both, entrepreneurs and musicians. The
Right.
drive, the hard work for little return for so long. Waiting for
Right.
the big paycheck or the big payoff, whether it's money or just clout or
I
whatever it
guess we're
is.
all
But
dreamers to some extent as well.
oh yeah, that's like kind of what I was. Last time we were talking about, I was like, I don't think I've grown up yet because I still got a lot of that. Still dreaming, man.
Right, right, right. And that's why I love YouTube, man, because YouTube gave me a different, like another outlet in order to like be creative and, do different things like the music used to let me do. I don't make as much music as I used to because now I kind of channel that all into the YouTube, you know?
Yeah, I did. Honestly, with the YouTube, that's how I started the channel. I started the channel back so long ago, and it was basically just a place for me to put my music.
Mhm.
So then, when I did call ahead to try to book a show, I could just send them a link instead of
Right.
having to like send a demo tape. Back in the day, it was like mail me a CD. It was like such a headache. You don't know if they get it or whatever, and it was pricey, man.
Right.
Nowadays, you just upload us on YouTube, send a link, right? That's free, a free press kit essentially, because we used to pay a photographer, take pictures, print out glossy photos, write up a bio, type it, print it, send the, you know what I mean? It was crazy, and then
Right.
by the time you get all of that, the weight of it costing you $2-3 to mail it.
Right.
And then
And
for, 9 times out of 10, you just don't even get a reply or anything back.
now on the other side though, it's so oversaturated now just because it's so easy. There's not that barrier to entry anymore. Anybody can record anything and throw it up anywhere. So, it's a
Yeah, it's so
double-edged
true.
sword. But
It was a big game changer, which is kind of why like I backed off of the music a little bit because it
right,
was like I was a dinosaur, dude, in like a new like a what analog boy in a digital world.
right.
I was just like, what? I don't even know. Like everything we used to do that would work wasn't working anymore. Like we used to go out and print flyers, pay a graphic designer, design a flyer, print
Right.
thousands of flyers, go out, hand them out at the mall and stuff.
Mhm.
Like that stuff doesn't work. You don't get away. I mean, it doesn't work. So we had to get creative and now it's just making videos and just making music. Really, I don't even post much of the music onto YouTube anymore. I probably should, but I
Absolutely.
do use a lot of my music for my background music on my
Yeah, yeah,
videos.
yeah. Like is your intro? Is that your music? What is that?
So there's 50% of the music is like just me, and then like 50% is my buddy Joseph, the guy who was in the hip hop project with that we
Right.
started back in high school.
Mhm.
So it's either unused beats or old released music or unreleased music, just whatever I got. I got a giant library of music, like a huge catalog of stuff that's used, unused. And then when I
Absolutely.
first started, I was like, what the heck? I might as well just use my own music, right? Actually, I think a buddy of mine suggested that. He's like, man, why don't you use your own music? And I was like,
Especially with all the copyright stuff, man. You almost can't afford not to.
yeah, it's not even a headache. It's no headache at all. So it's great. Yeah.
Right.
Which is funny because I actually have a copyright claim on one of my videos and it's my song. And I'm just like, I haven't even fought it. I'm like, don't even want to deal with it. I'm just like, whatever. The video doesn't get a whole lot of views or traffic or anything, but
Right. And I'm
I was
pretty
like,
sure they signed some deal. I forgot who it was. I don't know if it was Trump or they signed some deal about the copyright laws in YouTube. Because people were taking advantage of it. They were like copyrighting like train noises and all kind of stuff. Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
talking about?
Yeah, I do. And then they made it to where they had to start putting all the money into, because what I heard was if you copyright claim somebody, the music goes straight or the money goes straight to your AdSense
Right.
account. But now I
Right.
guess it goes into like an escrow account until the investigation is over and they determine whether or not, whoever's right or wrong.
Right. So they had to take that incentive away because I think there was companies that just
Yes.
started up just specifically to copyright claim
Yeah.
videos,
Yes.
which is
Yes.
crazy. Like,
Which is crazy. Because, the thing is 3 strikes and you're out, right? On YouTube. So it's
absolutely.
like, I don't know. I guess they just feel like most people would rather not take the chance of even losing and getting a strike, so they just let it fly or
Es-
delete the video or change the
Absolutely.
music or whatever.
Especially when you got some good subscribers, some good viewership, man. That's the last thing you want us to be taken down by some copyright nonsense.
I know, some nonsense for sure.
So you have a painting business. When did you get into, painting? And yeah, tell us about that.
So actually, this is a good segue into this because when I got back from touring with my band when I was 21, 22 or whatever,
Hmm.
I didn't have a job, right? I had nowhere. I quit everything, sold off everything before we left. So when I came back, I needed a job.
Right.
So I was putting around, and a friend of mine, or acquaintance rather, his stepdad owned a small painting company here in my town. And my town's small. We got like 10,000, 15,000 people, I think, live here.
And
So
every
I'm
time
back.
I don't know about other people, but every time I think about California, I just think about like LA, or I think about like the heavy populated areas.
Oh no, dude, not even, dude. It's all orchards, dude. I live in the middle of an orchard, almond orchards.
Oh
It's
yeah,
all
you told me that.
yeah, it's crazy. So when I came back, I was like, hey, is your stepdad will he hire me? He's like, yeah, show up tomorrow, Monday. So then I ended up becoming really good friends with the dude's dad,
Mm,
and I worked with him off and on. And he knew what I was about. And he's like, if you need to take off for a month, whatever, to go with your band, then you do that, and I'll, come back. I'll put you to work. So it
right.
was kind of by accident. Really, I kind of fell into it.
Hmm.
But I had always been in construction. I pulled wire for a long time, did like tile work, brick work, just hard work, man. I was raised in the construction field. So
Absolutely.
painting was one of the like light work. It's just like, this is light work, man. I can hang doing this. But nowadays I'm like, I'm so sick of it, the chemicals and the ladders and stuff. But
Right, man. Right. And my dad is terrible about this, but that dude will paint like in a garage, like just spray paint. And I'm just like, dude, you got to put something on your face or something, or
I'm bad
he's
too.
he's
I'm
bad,
bad too,
man.
man.
So
I try, but
how long have you been in the painting business for?
so I've been painting, I guess, for about, I don't know, how old am I? A long time. So like 12, 13 years maybe, off and on. Like I had a couple random jobs here and there, but mostly painting. And then I started my own business. I think it's been about 8 years, nine
Okay.
years, maybe 8 or 9. I've been on my own. So I
Okay.
started with a buddy. We like both worked for a company. They laid us off like every November. You get laid off, right?
Right.
So November we got laid off, and then we met a guy who was flipping houses. Using investor money to flip houses, and then
Right.
he hired us, and we were hungry, cheap, and really badass. You know what I'm saying? Like we were good. Like we were hungry. So like we went out and
Yeah.
gave 110, 150. Working extra hours, always showing up. And he loved it. So he's like, check it out. I got like 10 more of these. And then we did like 10 more. He's like, I got 10 more. Now I got, and then he was like, these kids are like custom painters. So then he started bringing us into his high end jobs. So we weren't even messing with the house flips anymore, because those are no fun, man. It's great to get into a house and make it look awesome. Like
Right.
go in and everything looks all old and cracked out and messed up. And once you're done, it's like gratifying. You're like, oh yeah, I did that.
And there's something about that, man. There's something about that transformation that just is like almost addicting. Like you want that transformation.
Oh, dude, it really is. It really is. Just to,
Yeah.
I did that, man. It's awesome, and it's gonna
Right.
last for a decade. You know
Right.
what I'm
Right. Right.
saying? Like
Right. Right.
more decades.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. So how did you, whenever you got your own business, how did you go about getting business when you first started? And then how has it evolved until now?
So, first thing we did was got business cards. And so in the beginning, honestly, if I didn't have work, I would put my painter whites on. I had a silk screening. I did silk screening myself back then. So I made a bunch of shirts,
Right.
like a fake company name or whatever on it, phone numbers, some business cards, Vista print, the $10, 100 cards or whatever it was.
Of course.
And I would just like go out to a diner and have breakfast, whatever I would do. I would just do my day in my painter get up, because eventually you start, hey man, you're a painter, you got a card, you know what I mean? So it was like, that's
Right.
kind of how I got my name out there. And then you just, go work. I was working, I'll just do time and material, and I would charge them 10, $15 an hour, depending on the job.
Right.
Or it took me a while to figure out how to like bid jobs.
Right.
But the way that I learned how to do it was, you just figure out how long it's going to take you. And then you just figure out what you want to make for that, and just kind of go off of that. And then you can kind of adjust it higher and lower.
And that's
And
what
then
I tell
before you,
people too, because people always ask me how they bid, how to bid pressure washing jobs and all that. And I just say, go with what you think you should earn first of all. And then after
yeah,
you do the job, kind of reassess and say, did
yeah.
I do more work than what I think I've earned, or, vice
No,
versa.
that's exactly right, man. That's what I did right out the gate. I tried so many days. I was like measuring walls and stuff at first. And I was like, man, I don't even know what the heck I'm doing, dude. But then, after, and like, you do a few and you feel like, oh, okay, this is like that other one. That other one took me 5 days. So this one
Yeah.
took me about 5 days.
That's
And I
like,
made
man,
that much. So.
I'll get some criticism on, YouTube and stuff about, quoting pressure washing jobs, quoting landscaping jobs. But man, whenever I first started, there was no YouTube. It wasn't like go to YouTube and search up, how to quote a job. It was like, man, let's go out there. I'll see how much work it is, and then I'll kind of guesstimate what I think I should earn on the work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there was nobody like you or like me out there trying to explain stuff like that back when I started. No way, man. No way.
Right.
It was just, and I actually on a couple of jobs, I did the old the gray hat tactic. You know, you go ahead and call, hey, I live over here at so and so address. Gonna see if I have you come schedule a paint estimate. You know,
Yeah.
and it's not my house; it's a job that they want me, you know, to bid. But I know they're not gonna be there or whatever, so I'll call some other company, walk around with them, like, okay, that's what they're charging.
Oh,
This is what I'll charge.
really?
You know?
What?
Yeah, dude. I did that 2 times in the beginning, man. Because I was like a big old giant house. You know, I'm like. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, I don't know. It could take me 2 weeks. Like, I don't even know. Like, I need help. Like, I have no clue.
Right.
But yeah, I called in a couple estimates, man. Had
Man,
them
that
come
could be
out.
pretty daunting, man. You gotta have some balls to do some of this stuff, bro. Like,
Hey, dude, when you gotta, you know, I mean,
you
dude,
do, man. Like finding jobs, like especially breaking down that barrier. Because I think a lot of times, especially in like today's society, we kind of have like this wall. We don't want to bother people. We don't want to be in the way, and we're kind of unsure of ourselves. So like you going out, having to find the business, how to figure out how to quote, like that's all things, man. Like you just gotta have some balls, man. You just gotta
you
give it
gotta
a
just
go.
put yourself out there. Which maybe like because you're saying like successful entrepreneurs, and musicians. Being a musician, bro, you get rejected
All the
so much,
time.
dude. You
So
put
much, man.
heart and soul into something, you're like, oh, they're gonna love it, and then nobody gives a crap. You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
Absolutely.
so you become pretty thick-skinned, and you're not afraid to put yourself out there. And I think that's one of those like boxes that get checked, also in the entrepreneur category, because you're like, oh, I've been rejected for years. The answer's already no, so I
Right.
have no problem, asking, like, or what I'm saying. You know what I'm trying
No,
to say.
absolutely. And I think another thing that kind of benefits the both of us, especially like in the service industry, is like you're so personable and you're a great guy. And I think a lot of the service industry is kind of on the other side. Like it's kind of people trying to get away with stuff and trying to, people don't trust them because they feel like they're trying to take things from them. So I think that kind of works to our advantage as well. And so, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you're right though. It's even though we're in this to make money, it really in the bigger picture, it's
Hmm.
the money is definitely a block, a building block. But you got to keep your customers happy and build friendships, because you never know. You never know. You might be working with some guy and you might piss him off, and you never know. He might hire the next guy and he has some like commercial buildings in the Bay Area and he's just got tons of money, and you never know. So I always go the little extra mile for
Right.
people, and especially in my community. When I work locally in my community, I always give them a little bit of a discount, because basically you can't drive a mile and be out of, by the time you're a mile, you're out of town.
You were saying do a good job for your customers
So
because
yeah. So basically, the money is a factor, but it's always good to go the extra mile, because nowadays with the Facebook and stuff, I pretty much dominate the feed anytime somebody's in search of a painter. Because we have a local town Facebook page, it's a Ripon City Facebook page, and
absolutely.
that's where people go for plumbers, for landscapers, for everything, for painters. And if somebody puts a post, I'm up there 16 to 20 times, and I get the calls, and
Exactly. And I do the same thing, man. If somebody puts up something that I do, I'm known in the area for having good prices, good customer service, and everything else. And people will throw my name into the conversation. They'll throw my business page in the conversation. And that's what I try to tell people on YouTube, is that you can be the highest price and you can go out there and make a killing on everybody. But that's, that kind of sticks in people's minds, and people are going to be more liable to price shop on you and things like that. So I think doing a fair job, or doing something that's fairly priced, doing a good job and communicating well with your customers, man, it's just going to pay dividends in the end.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Tell me about the biggest job that you've ever had painting.
So the biggest job, that's a great question. There's a couple. So it was a nightmare job too. So okay, we did a job up in Danville, California. If anybody wants to look it up, but it's in the Bay Area. And this job was a complete headache. I think it was like a $30,000 paint job, if I remember right.
Holy shit, man.
I think that was the estimate. And honestly, I think it ended up being more than that. But anyways, we were there for I want to say 2 months, but
Hmm.
it was a mansion. It was like a ranch. And I think it had, let me see, one, two, like 6 bedrooms, and I think like 3 or 4 bathrooms, had tennis courts, like a whole entire like horse corral,
Man.
giant pool. Dude, it was insane. It was a headache. And I'll never do anything like that again.
That was a mistake. So you do not want to go that big or like that big of a
So
job?
over the years, like I've tried to like scale up and do the bigger jobs and stuff, but honestly, it
Right.
seems like even though I get real, like you get big, you got to hire more people, and it just the returns don't go like aren't exponentially more, you know. So and it's just a lot more work. Like
It's more
maybe I don't know
risk.
what I'm. Yeah, more risk, for sure, more risk,
Yeah. Me and
and
Aaron
it's just
me and Aaron talked about kind of like the similar thing, Aaron's Lehman Academy. And it was like, after a certain point, just like you said, the profitability isn't there versus the risk versus the headache. Because he was like, man, I could run a whole crew. I could have multiple, vehicles running, but it's just like not worth it to a certain extent. So that's kind of your experience with it as well?
absolutely. So I just try to keep it small and compact, man. I had a few guys working like full time, but honestly now I try to just do everything that I can by myself.
Right.
And then if I need some help, I have a few guys that I can call in to help and they'll come help. And they're mostly dudes that do come in to help. They're not the guys that want to work 40, 50 hours a week anyways. So
Right.
it kind of works out. I just pay them cash money. They come in for day labor or whatever. And then they're good help for good pay.
Yeah, and this is a great segue into my next question. So, what advice can you give for working with people and then finding good help to help you? So, like, what do you look for in the people? Because obviously, that's a hard part of scaling your business is finding people that you can trust, people that you know are going to show up.
Man, just like anything else, you just try until you find somebody and that honestly, I think is the hardest part is finding somebody that wants to work and that is reliable and trustworthy and like not trustworthy like not like they're gonna steal, but just trustworthy like you can rely on them.
Yeah, because I
And
mean, at the end of the day, anything that they do has your name on it, and you have to be comfortable with trusting them to do the work.
finding people um, that are worth paying to come work is definitely hard. What I've learned in the past is I kind of begin to rely on somebody and then all of a sudden they're over it.
Right.
Like I'll train them all. So the last experience that I had was when I decided not to. I had this kid come work with me. He's a great kid, smart kid. He was early 20s, smart kid, hard worker, showed up every day, super fun to like be around, fun, like he fit in well, everybody just how construction is, you kind of everybody's BSing and we
Absolutely.
fit in well for his age, the age difference.
Right.
And he just was over it, or he found a better job is actually what ended up happening. And it was just the bummer part is like I would work him 40 hours a week, even though I probably only needed him 20, but I
Okay.
wanted to invest in him, because I was like, okay, now here's a dude that I could put in a truck and send two guys with him.
Hmm.
He can go and like meet the client if and because that's the main thing is going out and doing the estimates and meeting the client, walking around the job, talking to them, winning them over, getting
Hmm.
them to like you know what I mean, and trust
Yeah.
you.
Because people
And
ultimately buy from who they like rather than necessarily buying, for the
yeah,
product.
especially nowadays, it seems like, it's not like in 2008 when everybody was like really hanging on to every dollar. People are willing to pay a little bit more to get either a better experience or mostly just like that's what I've learned. Like people are willing to pay more for the experience. And
Right.
even if the quality isn't as good or if it's on par with everyone else, if there's a better experience, more people are willing to pay, a little bit more.
Right. And plus he's got to know what he's talking about, man, because he's, that's selling, that's business, man. So yeah,
Yeah.
you're completely right. Somebody who's knowledgeable enough and somebody who's, consumer focused to where they can, talk to them and just present their knowledge in a way that's like, just value based. Like I'm offering all this value. I know all these different
Yeah.
things. I know exactly what you're saying, man.
Yeah. So
Um,
so after him, I was just like, man, I'm just going to roll solo. And then if I need somebody, I'll just hire somebody. And like I said, there was three of us that all worked together and we all would get laid off every November. Well, me and the partner started, we split up and another guy came along. So we all help each other out. Like they'll get a big job. We'll all team up on a big job. So, I got reliable, competent help, available.
Right, if you need it, if need be. And that's
If
awesome, dude. Like I have with landscaping, it is so hard for me to find help. I can't even get like my friends don't even want to help. No one wants to help me landscape. So
Nobody wants to pull weeds, right? Like that's what you did when you got in trouble as a kid, like, you're pulling weeds today, boy. And I was like, ah, shit, like
I know
nobody
it's
wants to
such a
like pulling weeds, man. You can't pay me enough to pull weeds. Some
that's
people,
right.
I'll pull weeds. I ain't scared of some weeds.
Dude, I'd give you a call, dude. You know what I mean? Okay, awesome. And also, do you want to talk about the Chase Banks? How you got that? Because I remember you telling me that you were repainting some Chase Banks as well.
Yeah, so it's like one of the like so I said me and a buddy, we teamed up together. Well, he ended up meeting some guy at an estate sale because him and his wife, they do a little bit of buying and reselling as well.
Yeah.
And he met some guy at an estate sale, and like he was, I'm pretty sure he was in his painter duds at an estate sale, and some guy comes up to him and approaches him like, "Hey, you're a painter. I got so much commercial work that I'll keep you busy for years. I got hundreds of jobs."
Wow. Are you
And being in the job, it's almost like too good to be true, right? You're like, all right, man, sure, So next thing you know, man, doing all these banks, dude. So yeah, but it's night work, so it's brutal. So still trying to manage the daytime jobs, and then find 2 or 3 days a week to go out there. So my buddy Kenny, he's handling the brunt of it, and then I'm coming in like back up, as much as I can to
That's super cool. So he has his own business.
Yeah, so we both ended up splitting up and started our own businesses. Yeah.
So can he pay?
Basically, he loves doing those giant jobs where I'm like, I don't want to do these giant jobs.
So he does the bigger jobs. You do the smaller jobs.
So he does, yeah, exactly.
That's like me.
That's how I like it, because I need time for YouTube, and I need time for vending. I need time to spend with my kids. My kids got wrestling and basketball and theater, and my old lady works too. So she's a nurse. So she works 12-hour shifts 3 days a week too. So a lot of the, responsibilities that she would typically handle, like I pick up for those days as well. So.
Right. And it sounds like you're kind of more so like me too. Like I like variety. I don't necessarily want to be doing pressure washing 100%. I want to like, you know what I mean? I want to be diversified. I want to be able to make different YouTube videos and like have different businesses,
I just like being busy, and like I got ADD real bad. So like the more stuff that I have, it's like, I feel like for me, I'm more focused when I'm super like overwhelmed, I guess. Like how do I explain it? Like if I'm semi-distracted, I'm able to focus better. Okay. I don't know what that means. I guess the anxiety helps me.
Yeah.
I guess that's what it is. Yeah.
Like having too much on your plate, like it's like I gotta get shit done.
It's a double-edged sword, but yeah, I just try to roll with it. Yeah, caffeine helps, and
right. I get bored, man. I can't do the same thing all the time. So I just gotta, I like to diversify, keep things interesting. Okay, awesome. So, anything else you want to mention on the painting business, on the painting side of things? Any big lessons that you've learned over the years, or?
Yeah, wear gloves not because you're a sissy, right? But because your body absorbs stuff, right? Your epidermis, right? Your skin,
right?
It's a giant organ, right?
Organ, yeah, on the body, right?
Exactly, correct. So I've learned in recent years that like there's actually something I saw on YouTube where they put a piece of garlic in a person's shoe. They put a sock on and they put their shoe on, and I guess within like 8 to 12 minutes you could taste the garlic, because your body is like absorbing it that much, and it's such a potent like taste,
Wow.
So I don't know, that was just interesting to me. And then just seeing all the latex chemicals on my hands all the time, I can't help but think like I've just been absorbing this stuff for years.
Right.
And a respirator, like your dad, man. Like I really try to put respirators on, but what sucks, man, is my skin is like, I get mean old zits all around my face right here, and I've had some teeth pulled. So I got that good, like crackhead face physique going on. So when I got the big zit and then the cheekbones going on, I'm like, man, I don't even want to go out in public, dude. So I don't even wear it as often as I should, even though I'm like terrified of like, damaging my lungs to the point of no, repair. But
those chemicals, man, I mean, that's the downside of working, in this kind of field, not sitting behind a desk, because you got all these different things that could go wrong potentially,
It's true. I've fallen off of ladders. Like I fell off a roof a few years back, and I got like this like weird like pinched nerve thing that comes and goes in my neck and stuff. So I've been a lot more careful, and those are the things that make me like want to get away from painting. Like it's been a good run, but I think it's it's running its course. I think it's time to switch it up for sure.
And it'd be, if you could find good people, man, it'd almost be cool to just just let them, you sit back and you just kind of run the show from behind the scenes.
See, the hard part is like a lot of people that are trustworthy, that you can rely on, that are hardworking, are people like you and me, and are people that want to like
run it.
They want to run it. They want to have something that's their own. You know what I'm saying? So when you get somebody in the door like that, then all of a sudden it's like, well, hey, like I did this whole job. All you did was this and that. And I feel like I need more money, and it just gets real complicated after that. And it's like, unfortunately, that's how it goes. And that's just how it goes. And that's why I don't work for anybody. Cause I'm like, I ain't going to sit here and make you all kinds of money, dude. Like,
Absolutely.
so I totally empathize with it.
And then like another question for you, what is the, like I know pressure washing. So like if somebody gets their house and their driveway done 1 year, I know in about a year, it's going to be time to pretty much get that house and that driveway done again. What's the turnaround on, like a house or, your business? Can you turn around next year and text them and say, hey, we did this, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. So a couple points. So one point, we're in California and the EPA and stuff, those guys are making it to where the paint isn't as durable. Like the colors will fade. So the paint's durable, right? Like your house will be sealed and sound. But as far as repainting, it used to be like 20, 25 years. Now you're looking at 10 years probably before the color begins to fade. And I don't know. And I know that paint is actually manufactured for different regions throughout the United States. So that might not be the case out by where you're at or even somewhere back Midwest, because the regulations are different. But in California here, man, they take all the good stuff out, man, So that's one point. Another thing about painting that's cool is you paint somebody's you go and you paint somebody's exterior of their house during the summertime. Well, wintertime rolls around, Thanksgiving, they're hosting a party. All of a sudden now they need the inside painted. Or then you got the cool thing about painting is, right, trends, right? Especially with stuff like Pinterest, right? You got Pinterest and all these home channels and stuff that like the color of the year or whatever. So all of a sudden,
so things are always changing,
styles and trends and stuff, and people want to keep up with the Joneses. So that's where it's like I'm coming in painting a perfectly good painted house and they just want the different color. The yellows are out and now it's grays. The grays are in now,
Right.
Red front door is not the thing now. Now it's a black front door.
And
so,
let's say you're painting in like an interior and exterior. Do people move their furniture for you and stuff? Or do you have to kind of like what's the rule?
So, there is no definitive rule, but basically that definitely factors into the price. So if I go into a house, a lot of people call, like, can you just give me a ballpark? One of the very first questions is it empty? Because if it's empty, then obviously I can come in, I could set up a work zone, and get to work, rather than if I got to come move furniture, they're living there. I got to do a section at a time, which means I'm tearing up and tearing down, twice a day. That's going to add labor. That's going to add time. That's going to add money. So for anybody out there that's going to hire a painter, if you want to save hundreds of dollars, just pull your furniture out into the garage for them, at least the big stuff, because you'll make their day, man, because then it's just like, okay, I can get up in here and I can do what I'm here to do instead of moving furniture around. Then like something gets broken. Now it's just a headache, And that's I've bought many a bookshelves, man, in my day. Let me tell you.
Because you've broken them?
Well, not me, but yeah.
Dude, but that's the cool part about painting is that you can charge them for that. Because like, dude, so many times I've done people's back porches and stuff, and I guess maybe they don't think about it, or I don't know what it is, but they won't move anything for me. I'll end up having to like move everything off and then move everything back on how it was. It's just kind of
yeah, and that just goes, it's something like that, that's like a 50-50. Some people are real considerate, and I think maybe people that have done it themselves are like, oh, here, and that's when you can give them a price cut. And if not, you could always throw that in there. You'd be like, hey, I'll pressure wash, it's $500, and then you explain it, I have to move the furniture and stuff, but if you guys want to go ahead and move the furniture, everything away from the wall and do all this, we can drop it down $75 or whatever,
Right. And as a painter, you do pressure washing as well, right?
Yeah. So I've been pressure washing for a long time. That was like my first job when I got hired on. It was like I was the dude that would go pressure wash the houses.
Okay, awesome, man. Because I know that painters take a lot of the pressure washing work away, because when somebody needs something painted, they just go ahead and they have to pressure wash it anyway. So I mean, that's a good thing for the painting business, is that you'd kind of lump pressure washing in there as well.
Yeah. I used to do the windows thing too, but now when I do a lot of my local stuff here or higher end jobs, I actually let them know that I have a professional window guy come in and clean, and he just charges me a flat rate of $100, comes and does all the outside windows and cleans them all up.
So do you
it's just an extra. It's just, no, well, I do upcharge, but
like, you make like a commission on it basically?
Yeah, well, you know, he gives me work and he's in town and basically just sets me above every other painter in town because Tim's the guy who has a professional window cleaner coming and do your windows. And really, it's an extra $100. I mean, $100 ain't nothing on a $3,000 job. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
of
It's
course.
like, so it's like you throw that in at the end. You know, it's $3,000 price. So I'm about $100-$200 lower than everyone else.
Right.
But I'm actually giving you a free professional window cleaner is going to come in with this truck and the whole thing looking all legit.
Right.
He's
And then
going
it
to do
makes
your
a world of
windows.
difference. Yeah.
And then what happens, he gets to sell on the inside and then he kicks me down if he gets the inside of the windows. Because there's two sides of the windows, right?
Right.
Below the line of symmetry, right? So you got the outside done. Well, now I got to do the inside. So then he'll give me a kickback if he gets inside.
Perfect, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Well, I think we pretty much covered painting. Well, what do you like to listen to while you're working? Because I know that's one of my favorite parts about, doing the labor is that I get to listen to things while I'm working. So what's your favorite stuff to listen to?
So it's okay. So there's been an evolution of this. So obviously, music was it for years, and it was mostly punk, skate punk, and like old hip hop.
Right.
And then classic rock is like the standard on a job site. Pretty much. Everybody listens to Led Zeppelin and Leonard Skinner. Like
Right.
Eagles and stuff on a job site. But then I don't know how long or when it took hold. Oh, I do know when it took hold. So there was a podcast a while back called Serial. I don't know if you.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
So that was like, it really changed the game for podcasting. So that sucked me in because it was almost like a Forensic Files or like a Dateline, but it was like a long thing about this one story in every episode. So I got really into the crime podcast, but so yeah, I got really into that and I was hungry for more. So there's a lot of crime, like true crime podcasts. But then eventually, man, that stuff kind of started getting to me a little bit, like kind of making me just a little depressed, I guess. So I just started looking for more. And now I found amazing podcasts, dude. So I got one is called Business Wars.
Okay.
One is called American Innovations. Another one is called I can look them up. I don't know, but I like the podcast where they're not just like two people talking or whatever, but it's almost like a television show, like something you would watch on History Channel, but it's just audio, right? So they almost reenact like historical scenes. They have like voice actors and stuff. So those ones are the real, and that's like Business Wars. It goes over like competition between two major like hitters, like Netflix and Blockbuster, Nike and Reebok, Puma and Adidas, and it really like breaks down the story in like a 6 to 8 part like series. So those are the kind that I like.
Super
like
cool,
about
man.
one story in a follow.
Right.
They're easy to digest and hard to wait for new ones, man.
Dang, man, that's all. I'm gonna have to check those out. I like to do I'll do a podcast or like an audio book for like the first half of the job, and then like once I start hitting a wall a little bit or getting tired, that's when I crank up the music.
Oh, okay, a lot of Joe Rogan too. I listened to a lot of Joe Rogan back in the day.
Love Joe Rogan.
Yeah, but he gets weird for a while. I can't listen to everything because like sometimes I'm like, man, shut up, So I don't know. He's just weird. I feel like he plays like the middle ground too much.
Oh man, he does with everything
for the sake of podcasting. But
of course,
it's just like, eh.
But I love the diversity, man. Like you can't go anywhere to get that kind of diversity. He's got super left, super right, super like conspiracy, like just all kind of crazy stuff. And I love Joe Rogan. I think the funny thing is, dude, I didn't hear about Joe Rogan. I mean, obviously I heard about him from Fear Factor, but I didn't know about Joe Rogan podcasting until maybe like 800 or 900 episodes in. And I think that has a lot to say about like not giving up on the whole process of everything. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. That's true. Yeah, because, dude, man, don't give up.
Imagine if that dude would have quit at like 400 or 500. If you would have said, you know what, I don't have that big of an audience. Like, dude, he is at 1,400 podcasts right now, and he's getting millions of views, but we only see that. We didn't see whenever he was at like 150,
Yeah, another thing that speaks to that too is like people want to wait until they get the good camera, until they get their like stuff set up and all their lights. Dude, have you seen his first podcast? It's just him and like Chris D'Elia playing pool in his basement or something like that.
I saw one and it was like they put little snowflakes on the screen or something. They're just like messing around.
Yeah, and I mean that's why that kind of stuff is how I started my channel too. I'm like, dude, I'm just gonna do it.
Right,
and that's what I just try to tell people: just do it. Because if you look back at the old stuff, it's like, oh, this isn't perfect,
right? But it doesn't have to be. And I think a lot of people say like, oh, well, Joe Rogan got in before podcasting was cool. I mean, that's the truth. But 1,300 podcasts, man, you can't. You just.
Yeah. He's been going for
You put
days,
that
man.
work in, man. You know, you
What's
gotta
cool
respect.
too is he's like gets so much sponsor deals too, right? He don't have
Right,
to. He could drop f-bombs all day long and like
right.
really speak how he feels. You don't have to worry about advertisers. You know, that's dope that he could do that.
Yeah, so there's just something to be said about that hustle, man. And I think, anybody who's big on YouTube, especially like, you got your Gary V's, your Grant Cardones, and all the people in the business world, they've put in so many efforts, like so many different videos, and that's why it ultimately blew up for them,
Yeah, you got to put him in.
You gotta put,
Unless you're Jaime Ibanez, right? His
dude.
first video, man, took off, dude. And he's got it down, dude. He's got it down.
That's pretty wild. I don't know, dude. I think it's good to have to go through that, fire in the beginning, because it really helps you to kind of own the craft. It helps you to, like, you change things, you try new things, and you kind of get a better hold of what you are and your identity. You know what I mean? I can't imagine my first video would have blown up. I don't even know, what I'm doing, kind of.
I think there'd be some disadvantages to it too, because watching his channel and like in the past, he is the vending machine guy. So like, when you grow that fast and you got, 200,000, 100,000 subs and it's all because of a vending machine video. I mean,
Right.
he tried to do other stuff and everybody's just like, nah, we don't want to see, we're subs for vending machine stuff.
Right.
So I feel like that's kind of like, I'm kind of glad, I didn't have that experience and I've grown like kind of slowly, or I guess a little faster than most, but pretty, average and organic as possible. So, it's like if I do decide to put a music video up, it's not getting as the kind of views that my vending videos gets, but it's a
Right.
good core group of people that like want to see it,
Right.
So,
And me and you
so I
talked
feel
about
like
this. Okay.
I'm lucky. No, go
Yeah.
ahead. No, I was done.
Oh, me and you kind of talked about this as well. It's like, it's so much easier to diversify your content, to start new series when you only have, a few thousand followers. But I mean, even when you try to do it, then it's like you have this fear of almost, what are people's perceptions going to be? What are people going to think about me? How is this going to be perceived? And so it's kind of nice when you're a little bit smaller. You still have those fears, but it's not like, I'm going to try something new in front of 100, 200,000 people,
Yeah.
But how we are now, we've tried so many different series. For me to try something new, it's not as far of a jump.
Yeah. You still got people that have been with you for so long that they're like, oh, cool, something new.
Right. And then at the end of
rather
the
than,
day, dude, you don't know these people. I mean, like, I love each and every person who watched my video. Like, I couldn't appreciate them more. But at the end of the day, it's like, we started making these videos more so for us, and you can't control what people think about you,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
It's
it's true. I've been real fortunate. I haven't had really anybody like, no like haters or nothing, I had a couple people like come at me all crazy and then I kind of explain myself. They're like, oh, right on, new sub. I'm like, okay, cool.
Right.
I just try to keep it real. I'm like, hey, I appreciate you leaving a comment, but I can't remember the exact one, what it was about exactly. But, I do remember. So I locked my keys in my truck on a job.
Yeah.
And I was in a super hurry. I had to pick my daughter up from theater practice. And it was just this whole day, right? So I was like, I called the fire department because here in my town, the fire department, they're really close. And it's a small town. So they do stuff like, if you lock your keys in your car, they'll come down and pop the door for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking, maybe, because I called the tow truck and they were like an hour and a half out. And I was like, I can't wait that long. So I was this close to breaking the window, man. I think I actually have it's on one of my videos. And then I called the fire department. They were more than happy to come out and help me out. And then some dude was just like, let me have it. He's like, hey, I'm a tow truck driver. And that was BS. I think you should have just paid the $60 and blah, blah, blah. And I just explained to him, like, it was more of not a money situation. It was a time situation. Like, it was semi-emergency, man. And
Right.
when I did call, I was like, hey, I made it seem like if you guys are available, you know what I'm saying? Because most of the time dudes are chilling, looking for something to do anyways, right?
Right.
So when they got there, they seemed more than happy because they got to bust my balls, like about me locking my own keys. So I think, they were happy to come out just to give me a hard time and help me out at the same time. So
Man, I locked the keys in my van so many times, man. I had to buy a key and just hide it underneath the wheel well. But just in regards to people saying mean stuff, man, it's gonna happen. I've had multiple people tell me that I'm single-handedly ruining the entire pressure washing industry. Like, literally, they will tell me I'm ruining the industry. So, I mean,
Dang, you got a lot of power there, dude. I didn't know you had so much power, dude.
Come on, baby. It's crumbling. You see these
It's
hands
good.
right
You see these hands?
These are the ones
That's-
responsible for this.
Dude, you should take a picture with the glove, the Thanos glove, and
Right.
just put like the power washing industry and just have it like fading away.
Yeah. Which is funny, man, but it's time.
It's
All right, so
hilarious.
this is a great segue because we kind of got into YouTube a little bit, and I definitely want to talk to you about YouTube because we're both two creators, coming up. So, talk about your YouTube channel and what made you want to get started making videos on YouTube.
Okay, so there's kind of two reasons I started. So like I think I talked about this earlier. The first reason I started was just a place to put my music to share with people. And that was in 2012. And so the first video on my channel was like an old music video we made back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
But then just this year, 2018 in January, my daughter was actually in the hospital for a short stay, and I had to cancel a job. And I was just thinking like, there's got to be a way for me to make money while I'm sitting out here in the hospital, So I started, Google how to make money online. And then, eventually it led me down into YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, all right, I'm going to try this YouTube thing out. So I started with, first I take that back. So the first thing I started with was eBay. So I have a big, vast record collection, right? And I have like doubles and a lot of records I don't listen to. I've just got over the years. So I thought, and vinyl was real big this last year. So I was like, I'm going to start to sell some vinyl. Dude, it worked. It worked so well. I was surprised.
Really?
So I started selling more and more stuff. So I made quite a bit of money on there. And while I was doing that, I was like looking around at other channels on like buying and reselling and eBay channels. And then I kind of realized like these guys are just like regular people like me, dude, just going out, and they're also making videos, right? And some of the videos aren't really that great. They're just like normal foot. I mean, not to say that they're bad, but I'm just saying in comparison to the high production, like videos that are out there, people with 10 million, 20 million subs, and like,
Absolutely.
It just opened my eyes to a whole new area of YouTube that I had no idea really existed, honestly, because before that, I thought it was like Catch Me Outside and hide in your house and nobody got time for that. I thought that was all YouTube really was. And then like, you need to change an alternator, you go watch a video and change your alternator, right?
Right.
So once I saw regular people doing YouTube, I was like, hey, I made some money on eBay. I might be able to help somebody out. So I guess the answer to the question is I started because I thought that I could help somebody out because I felt like I had learned some tips and tricks during the eBay, me learning how to do eBay. And I was like, because at the beginning I didn't know, and I would take a little bit from everybody else and kind of make my own way that I felt was better. And I thought it would be fun to share. Mm-hmm. So I did that. And then once I made money off of eBay, it was like, what else could I do with this money? How could I reinvest it? And I guess vending was popping off at the time. And then they like led me into vending. And then literally overnight, I went and bought 2 vending machines the very next day. And then I watched a whole bunch of vending machine videos. And then I decided I'm going to make my channel like vending machine. I'm going to go hard on the vending machine channel because I would watch the other channels. And there was always something that I wanted them to show or wanted to see or wanted them to like explain or something. So I was like, I'm just going to make that video, like I'm going to make the video of like, just everything about it. You know what I mean? Cause I was like, after I got the machines, I'm like, oh, Vindo 407, just like anything Toyota 95 Corolla water pump removal. Like, so I'm looking up that for a vending machine and it's like nothing is out there. So I'm like, oh man. So that's just kind of, I was like, maybe, and I didn't know anything about vending, dude, whatsoever. All I knew is I wanted to buy some machines and make some money.
You started with eBay reselling?
Started with eBay reselling records, yeah. And then I made a few grand on that, and then I just, dumped it into vending machines.
No, but you were doing YouTube videos of the eBay selling them?
Yeah, so I had about maybe like 10 videos, like a couple yard sale video, like sourcing at yard sales, and then like how I ship my records and just different things that I learned, like ways to save money and just different methods. And yeah.
How funny is that, man? I think the Jaime Reyes vending videos really brought like a whole new wave of, because that's what got me into it, man. I was, I've been running my businesses for a few years and I've been doing this stuff, man, working hard every day for a long time. I see these people posting, vending videos online, and I'm like, dude, let's go, man. I do this every day. Had I known that it was gonna be this popular, I would have done it, years ago.
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
So I just started turning on the camera, man. I was like, let's get it.
So you were already had the vending machine route going, and then you
Right,
saw
right,
the
right.
video. Oh,
Yeah, man.
okay.
I had like 8 locations. I had been flipping cars for like 2 years.
See,
You
that's
know,
something I want to get into. I want to get into doing that. I actually got a car
landscaping.
just sitting. I need to do that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, landscaping, pressure washing. I was running the whole gamut. You know what I mean? So there's so much footage that I could have gotten, but I just, like you said, I thought that, YouTube was just a place for, the high production. I'd see people every now and then that didn't have as high production, but I was like, who's really going to be interested in watching people work, or who's going to be interested in, my journey, making money, but
Yeah.
it just turns out, man, that people, they want to see it.
And it's cool too, man. You end up like helping people. You end up helping a lot of people out.
So, okay, so since we're on YouTube, how you kind of got started, can you talk about how difficult it was to grow in the beginning, and what you've learned through the process? Kind of how your video process has kind of evolved along the way.
Okay, so when I first started out, like I said, I just regular people. So I just said, I got a phone, dude. And I just put my phone up and
Right.
just started talking at my phone. And then, I edited it together. And I just noticed like a lot of the other channels, they're just doing the jump cuts, just the jump cut, jump cut. I was like, I could do that. So I just started jump cutting it. And then I got like, 20 views. I'm like, sweet, I'm gonna make another one. So I just made another one, and then it was fun. I was like, this is fun.
Right.
So I just kept doing it. And then like, as I was doing it, I would want to do something like that I would see in somebody else's. So I'm like, oh, I want to do like a voiceover, or I like when they throw stuff up on the screen. So I'm gonna figure out how to do that. Right. So I just
Right.
literally, man, just started downloading apps. I said, oh, I need a background eraser. Okay. And I do everything on my phone. I don't even use this stupid computer for YouTube at all.
That's
And
crazy too, because I can't even imagine how much work it is on the phone. Can you
I
tell us
feel
what
like,
app you're using?
yeah, so I use InShot. It's here, I'll show you what it looks like too. Yeah, I use InShot, and honestly, it was the first app that I found. I was just like video editing app, and it was that one. I was like, I like the way this one looks, and I clicked
Right.
it, and then it looks like that InShot.
Super cool. And then once you get used to one of them, once you get used to all the ins and outs of it, it's kind of hard to jump to like a new one, because like you're so quick with it,
So here's the thing, and like the videos I make, I spend like 6 to 8 hours. Like I probably don't have to spend 6 to 8 hours on a video,
Yeah.
but I do, right? And it's not really the editing, it's the color correction, and honestly like finding the right image to pop up on the screen to make that like boring part of the video funny. You know what I mean? Like I spend more time like dropping in songs, be like, yeah, I don't feel right. Delete, drop in another, nah, don't feel right. Drop it. Okay, now we're talking, and then figure out where to end it. Like it's not the actual like technicality of hitting the mouse and clicking the hotkeys. It's not really that part that's taking I mean, it would take me just as long to do it on here, because I still have to go search for the image that I want.
Right.
The music still has to feel right. And yeah, I could just jam on my phone. Like for instance, I was able to release a video today that I shot the day before yesterday. And yesterday I was chilling with my family, went to the movies, went shopping, because we had a 5-hour ride in LA, and we're sitting a lot of downtime in LA. So it was just like, cool, downtime. Right here
You
on
get
my
the
phone, I just
editing.
start trimming out get the footage all trimmed out, and
Right, right,
edit
right.
anywhere. I can edit anywhere, man.
And I think that's kind of like the balance that people have to find, is like, where do you draw the line at, this is too much time editing versus the value that you're going to get back, putting out the video. And then, but you don't want to put out things that you don't have too much time into, but, just the balance between like how many videos should you put out per week? Like, so what do you try to hit as far as a goal for videos per week?
So right now I try to hit 2 to 3. I shoot for 3, and some weeks it's 2, but honestly, it's like every 3 days I'm putting out a video, which gets
Right.
weird, right? Because it's like, when do you start and when do you end? Because like I released the video today, Monday, so I'll try to drop one Wednesday, and then I might drop one like Saturday or Sunday, but then the next week I might not drop till Wednesday. So I just try to keep a 2 to 3 day break in between each video. So I
No,
think it's
right.
like 2 to 3. When I first started, I went hard though, dude. Every day, dude.
Yeah, you can kind of burn out like that. I kind of got the same way. I started burning out a little bit, but now I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm like, because I had a conversation with my brother, and I was like, dude, if I was your age, if I'm 16, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go like on Google or something, and I'm gonna search like most commonly asked questions, and like literally every day, I'm just gonna press record, and I'm gonna answer like, what is the most commonly asked question? You know what I mean? Until
Oh,
I
that's
got
smart.
like just until I got hundreds and hundreds of videos, because at the end of the day, who cares? You know what I mean? And then I try to take on that same mindset. I'm like, Justin, look, man, who don't care about what people are thinking right now. You know, like I've been putting out these podcast clips. I get like backlash on them. People are like, why do you keep putting out the same clips? You know, we don't want this. We want this. You know what I mean? And I'm like, dude, why do I care? Those videos are going to be seen by more people that are going to drive more traffic to the channel, which is going to drive more traffic to the podcast, you know, and it's just going to feed on itself. So like,
And
you know,
potentially help somebody else, you know, get into the
exactly.
game and do that, and maybe start a channel to help more people down the road to start a channel. I mean, it's like a chain reaction. That's what I love about it, man.
Exactly. So I try to take on that same mentality that I give my brother. I'm like, dude, if you made one video, all you got to do is like, we got these phones. Like this is something Gary Vee would say. Dude, you click record and you literally just go, you know, you guys want to know, answer the video. You guys make sure you hit the subscribe button, like button, and leave me something down in the comment section. And just every day, dude, you can make 2-minute
Done.
videos. And I'm telling you,
Yeah.
you could grow like crazy probably.
Yeah.
You know?
Because YouTube's going to be the new search platform. You know, I think it's quickly going to pass it up to Google search. You know, most people
Oh
are
man, the more stuff that you can rank for in SEO, I mean, you'll just dominate. That's why some of these channels, they got like millions and millions of followers, and you know, they might not get as many views on each video, but like those videos that did hit, they hit hard, you know?
hard. That's the thing. Yep. The more you got out there, the more chance you have of getting picked up too. That's
Right.
for sure.
And it just all goes back to that, you know, how are people going to perceive me when I do put this out? I don't want to put out too much because I don't want people to say, oh, you know, I don't like this, you know, but it's like we got to break through that and get to the other side.
Yeah.
Because
one more thing to touch base on the daily upload thing too. Another thing I learned is it wasn't so much the burnout is why I kind of stopped doing the daily. It was I learned that it's better for my channel. I don't know if this is for every channel, but to let the video breathe for a couple of days, because what would happen is you'd release a video, and especially with the little following, you know, at that time, I'd get a bunch of views early, and then I release another view, and then that video is just dead in the water after I released the new one, right? Right. The new one, and then another one, and that one's dead in the water. So it was like I would have to go back and try to re-promote the old videos to where I felt like if I'd have let them sit there for, you know, 2 to 3 days, they might be able to stack up a little bit more views, you know?
And so, like, did you watch video? I know myself, man, I dove deep into like the whole SEO, everything that goes into driving traffic and your different traffic sources. So, like, how was that for you? And did you have a game plan like when you first started?
No, dude. My whole game plan was just start, right? So I just started, and then I came up a couple other vending channels I just was like already subscribed to anyways, you know, because and I would already be engaging. I was already asking questions and like, hey, you know, this is the machine I got. So people kind of started recognizing me in the community.
Right. And dude, let me say this. The vending community is literally like one of the best communities on YouTube in my opinion.
Oh yeah, dude. Dude, everybody's so great, dude. Really.
I got my hands in multiple communities, but just like the vending community is like, man, just it's the most supportive people, dude. Like comment on all your videos. Yeah.
Everybody has each other's back, dude. Everybody's super supportive. And then we got even like different feeds, you know, different threads with everybody on it. And everybody's just trying to help each other out all the time. Encourage everybody, pump everybody up, you know?
Right.
That's cool. Yeah, the vending community is insane. And it's funny because when I started like, you know, watching the how to grow on YouTube or how to, you know, be a YouTuber, they're like, don't read the comments. Don't read the comments. And I'm like, if I never read my comments, dude, like there's no way I would have grown the way that my channel has grown over the past 6 months. Like, there's no way. So
you have to, you gotta read them enough to know what's going on, but you can't let what they say dictate your actions, you know?
Yeah. And I think the type of the niche of the channel depends. The genre of the channel depends too. I mean, if you're out there just doing like challenges and stuff, you probably don't need to be reading the comments. But if you're doing something like us, where we're trying to like reach a person, I think it's important to read the comments.
Right. And that's the cool thing with these podcast videos. I mean, we're kind of going deep into like our YouTube strategies and stuff, but dude, I want to be able to break down these podcast videos into multiple different segments. And I think that people need to experiment a little bit more. Those clips channels, like the JRE clips, the H3H3 clips, man, I love watching those videos. I love getting the little, you know, snippets from the podcast, but I think, like even this one, I could break this podcast into 3 different podcasts. I could do the painting business, your YouTube channel, and then the vending business. So it's just all about playing with it and kind of seeing what works.
I'll listen. I'll listen.
I appreciate
I
you, bro.
already do anyway. So
Yeah, I appreciate you, bro. So tell us about, because you just put out a video with Reyes today. Tell us about how it was, what it was like to work with Reyes, and then also how you got that opportunity, because that was super cool when you told me about it.
Okay, yeah. So this is a good transition because that was kind of my strategy, was to collab. That was like, once I figured out, okay, how am I going to grow? Collabing is the way to go. So I like joined some like random sites that like said you could like meet people in your area, but I don't think anybody uses them, so I couldn't find anybody.
Right.
And then dude, Reyes, I was watching Reyes because I found him with the eBay stuff because he was doing eBay, and then I found him with the vending because he was doing the vending.
Right.
So I was already following him, and then so what I did was, around me, right, I was like trying to do YouTube. And a lot of my friends, not everybody, but most of them are like, oh, you're trying to do YouTube. Like, that's weird. Like, you're stupid. Nobody
Dude, no one's
understood.
supportive. No, yeah,
Nobody understood it because they
that's
didn't
just like
see
with
what
the
I saw.
music. Usually, the people don't support the music. People, I mean, when you try to you stepping out of the box, man. Like,
Everybody wants to know how much you get paid. I'm like, I ain't paid nothing. I'm not making no money. Then
until
why are you
now.
doing it?
Then you
Yeah, well,
you're
now,
monetized now, though. Huh?
yeah, now it's good. Yeah, but so with that being said, I was like, I was watching a Reyes video.
Right.
And he said something about he was doing a giveaway, or I don't know what it was, but he's like said Coalinga. And I'm like, I know where Coalinga's at, right? So I'm like, that's only a couple hours south of where I'm at. So I said, screw it, dude. Sent him a message. I said, hey, dude, like, here's where I'm at. I'm a new YouTuber. And like, I just watching your videos, like, I think it would be interesting to like meet you and talk with you. But I'll offer you 8 to 10 hours of labor once a week, if just to come down there and just kind of hang out with you, because like you're energetic and creative, and I need somebody like that in my life right now. And, and like, I think it would be cool, to offer you my labor just to kind of feed off of you,
Right.
So he was like, I don't really need the help and blah, blah, blah. So a couple months went by, or a month or whatever. And then, I hit him up again. Hey, the offer still stands, man, blah, blah, blah. Well, then I had got my vending machines. I was having problems, and I reached out to AFC vending, Jamie Farnsworth.
And we got to talk about him in a second as well.
Okay, so yeah, so I asked him. I asked him I said, hey, I have a couple well formulated questions, and I think it would take like 5 minutes of your time. I just need a quick answer, So I texted him. He called me right away, like Messenger. So I was like, oh my God, he called me. So it was weird because, he's a big YouTuber, and I was like, this is crazy.
Dude, I get a bunch of messages on Instagram. I hate texting out long replies. So like, I've done that before too. I'll just like call people. I'm just like, dude, what's up, man? Like, let's just talk face to face for a second. But my bad.
Yeah, that's cool. And that was the best part, so that was the main thing, is I didn't want to waste his time, right? So I wrote a long thing. I said, hey, I have a couple questions, and I think I have the right questions to ask in order to use the least amount of time. And he just called me. So he helped me with my machine. And then I gave him a little shout out in a video, which didn't matter. I had like 200 subs, maybe 150 subs at the time.
Yeah.
So fast forward from that, maybe a few weeks. Now it's May 9th. It's actually my birthday. It's May 9th. I'm at work painting a house, got a whole crew of guys. And Jamie calls me. He's like, hey, can you be in front of a computer in an hour and a half or whatever? I'm like, yeah, no problem. He's like, all right, you're going to do a podcast with me and Ray as the entrepreneur. And I'm like, all right, guys, I got to go. Empty my truck. I'll be back, So I came home, did the podcast. So then I got to meet Reyes, and then, off of Zoom, just like we're doing here.
Right.
And so during that podcast, he's like, here's my personal info. Keep in touch. So with that, I started following his personal Facebook page. So then about a month later, he puts on his personal Facebook page, hey, any of my friends or family available to help me pick up a vending machine. So, I'm up. I'm like, hey, if you can't find anybody, I'm not that far away, dude. I'll totally come help you,
Right.
So, back to just trying to get in with somebody that's creative that I could like potentially feed off of and learn from.
Of course.
So he's like, right away, yeah, dude, are you for real? And I'm like, yeah, dude. Like, if I say I'm down, I'm down. So then he's like, okay. So I went down, and then we made that collab. We got like, he made 2 videos out of that day. I made 2 videos out of that day. And no joke, dude, like 1,000 subs in like 2 days after that video.
Man.
So here's the struggle of getting 2,000 subs in a day, right? When your channel's only 2 months old, you got a long ways to go to get that reach time, that watch time, dude. And it is like torture, man. You're watching every video. Oh, only 1,500 minutes watch time. I gotta put out another one. Only 2,000 minutes. I gotta get more. Oh, it was a struggle, man.
Right.
I was getting addicted there for a while. checking the analytics.
Oh, you got it, man. Yeah, it's a vicious cycle. So, but that is super awesome. So basically, what you did is you reached out to him, you offered value, and in exchange for the value, you know, I mean, you got the in, and it didn't happen the first time, which is super cool.
Yeah.
Multiple times you reached out to him, and now you guys are good friends. You guys have made multiple videos together.
Yeah. Yeah, we're homies for sure. Yeah, we're buds.
Dude,
Yeah, it was just crazy. I just
cool,
kind of,
man.
just put my resume on the top of the stack, I guess. So it's like
Right.
I just separated my name out of a sea of names, just by like being in his DM like 3 times. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was like he recognized my name.
And the cool thing too is, man, I've made so many good friends like off of YouTube, just like-minded people. I think
Dude,
it's the best place to find like-minded people is fellow YouTubers.
Yes, dude. And like I was saying, that was a struggle in the beginning, was like, man, I don't have any like-minded people around me. And then YouTube, now I got a handfuls of people that I could call and be like, hey, ask them like entrepreneurial questions or like, what's up, kiddo? Or, YouTube advice or anything. And it's just, dude, it's crazy. YouTube's an awesome place, man.
And it's weird, man. I'm and like trying to I know exactly what position you're coming from, because like I'm trying to get this guy. Did you see the video on YouTube? It's like the 40-year-old who quit his job at Popeyes.
Nah.
You didn't see it? It went viral.
No.
It's got like over 1 million, probably has like 2 million views on it.
Oh,
Anyway,
dang.
there's this guy that like he's homeless, but he lives in his van. And he like travels across the United States, and all he does is make YouTube videos. And he's got like 80,000 subscribers, but he had this Popeyes video pop. So I'm just trying to get him on the I'm trying to get him on the podcast. So trying to reach out, dude. Like, it's like, they have a bigger audience. So it's kind of daunting. You know what I mean? Trying to relate to them and trying to offer them value. So
yeah. And it's probably a whirlwind for him too, I'd imagine. Yeah. That van life stuff though is taking off right now. That's pretty crazy.
It is.
He hit it.
He's rough around the edges, man, but he's just a funny dude, and he's very likable just because he's very honest and blunt, So anyway,
cool.
I'm trying to get him on the podcast, but I just I know what that's like. So anyway, super awesome how you worked with Reyes. So who else have you collabed with on YouTube? I know you said
so
Jamie.
I also collabed with Brandon B, who has a small channel. He has some vending machines too, but his channel is kind of more about like a variety channel, I guess. Mm-hmm. But he actually started like a decal business recently. So a lot of his content's revolving around the
super
vinyl,
cool.
Yeah, decal stuff. So I did a collab with him last time I went to LA. Right? And Sean the Hustler too. Yeah, I did a collab with him. Yeah, went out and met with him. He's super dude. He's such a good dude, man. He taught me a lot. It was cool to go hands-on on a vending route with somebody who's been running like a real vending route. I mean, I got 2 locations. Right. I don't know if you can call it a route, but he took me out. And he showed me the ropes, taught me a lot of good, like just small things that I would have took years to learn. And he's just like, hey,
Yeah, man, you run that route long enough, you pull some tricks,
Yeah, just like with anything, man.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. So, so right now you currently have a vending business. You said you have 2 locations?
So I got 2 full line locations, 2 soda machine locations. And then I got a claw machine. And then I have 3 bulk double head machines, but I'm about to pull those and just give them to my kids and let them figure out what they want to do with those. Because honestly, I actually started the honor boxes too, which is funny because I did it completely backwards. I bought full line machines, a claw machine, a bunch of candy machines, and then now I'm doing the honor boxes. But
which one do you like the most?
The full line for sure, and the claw machine. Yeah, those are more fun, I guess, for me. More interesting.
The claw machine is fun.
Yeah, the claw machines are fun. Cool,
yeah,
for sure.
So the honor box business, what made you want to get into that? You just wanted to test it out, see what it'd be like? So
it goes back to like when I was talking about starting my vending machine channel, was like there's stuff that I'm not seeing. Like I want to see, like I just want to see more. So I'm like, I'll just get them and then I'll figure it out. So for instance, like I know like they donate and stuff, and I was like, oh man, they should totally do donation videos. So I'm like, I'll do donation videos, and then it's like,
right,
yeah, I just want to try it out, man, and give back, to the community, help out.
Also get some good content, it's all
get some content was definitely a factor in that, and then also a factor in helping out the homie, Dominic Barbado. It's his little startup, so
okay,
help out somebody else in the vending community, allow to get some more content. Help donating to charity, like a legit charity, and and just learn more and meet more people. And honestly, another big factor was I figured it was easy because they say like getting an honor box location is really simple, which I've learned that it is crazy simple, right? So it's a great way to get your foot in the door to place, let's say, a bulk machine
Right.
or a full line machine in the snack room per se or whatever, because these little boxes take up very small real estate.
Right.
So and when I was placing them, I was like, oh, cool. Now I'm in the door. I could probably sell them on a candy machine, because I got a bunch sitting here. They're not really doing that well. So yeah, it's just something to keep in mind. If anybody's out there got a few $100 and they want to get into the game, I would advise to do the honor boxes, man. The turnaround's great. There is some theft, but if you get the good locations and you got some money coming in, then you can get your bulk machine going, and then you already have locations. So it's like,
right. And it's a good test. It's, it's not, you don't have to pay a bunch of money to get into it. And, you can kind of see if this is the type of business that you want to get into and whether or not you can keep up with it and everything else that comes with that.
Yeah. I got lucky and I got 2 good machines for about $800. So I was lucky. I mean, I had some problems with them, but they were all operator errors, like stuff that I did to them thinking I was doing the right thing and it wasn't. So it's like, and I would curse the dude, but every time I called him, he'd come out and he'd help me and he'd walk me through. So it was cool.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
I didn't have to pay thousands of dollars to get my 2 first machines. So it was pretty.
Yeah.
I'm
glad that vending got me like going in the YouTube game. Cause I kind of jumped in when vending was popping, but vending for me, man, it's just not, the juice isn't worth the squeeze anymore for me, in my opinion. It's just like, once you got a location, man, it's just nothing but, you only hear when things go wrong. You only hear when the machine takes the money. It's not like, I like to do a transaction with somebody, provide a good service.
They're like appreciate, I see.
Yeah, and then I'll be on my way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's no like, hey, thanks for restocking the machine. Man.
Thank you so much. We love this. No, it's always like the machine took my money and da 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 da.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, we want different drinks in here, man. Like, everybody thinks you're getting rich off of them, which is stupid. Because I mean, they look at the prices. I mean,
it's $1. Yeah,
it's
dude,
$1.
Try raising the prices. Try going up on your drinks and see what happens.
I know. I'm about to in January. Because I had one location where I had all kinds of problems. The machine was not working right. Like I said, user error, or operator error. But so I lowered the prices to kind of like, win them over. But it's like, okay, it's been a good 6 months. So I'm going to put a sign on next collection, say January 1st. Yeah, everything's going up.
Oh, that's smart, dude. Yeah. Give them a little heads up. Let them know what the deal is.
Yeah. So I got a good relationship with them. So I'm hoping everything goes good. But I don't want to blindside them,
Yeah. So what's the plans for the YouTube channel going forward? Are we going to keep doing vending? I know you did some painting videos.
So yeah, I've been starting to do some painting videos. The hard thing about the painting videos is a lot of times it's hard to set up a decent shot to see progress. So the last few jobs I've been doing is like white on white, right? So it's like there's no content there. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm not gonna do those videos. Honestly, vending for sure. I definitely want to get into more collabs. Like I want to be the collab king, dude. Like I want to go collab with everybody that I can get my hands on, dude.
Right.
And then just me, man. Like whatever I'm doing. I think I'm lucky in the way that I have grown my channel to where I have a good solid core of people that are down for me. If I decide to post a video of me playing my guitar, they'll watch it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But definitely just following the business. And like I said, I kind of feel you with the juice and the squeeze thing on the vending. I enjoy the vending, but I think the locations, finding those banger locations is really the key. So I have a little strategy that I'm going to switch it up here maybe soon. I don't know. I've been thinking, I think we talked a little bit about it.
Right.
Maybe just get into flipping locations.
Right. Yeah, I would say if there's any money, it's in placing the machines and then reselling the location. Because, yeah, dude, you can get into all kind of locations and then people don't know how to do that. They don't know how to move the machines. They don't know how to find locations. They don't know what to say. So if you just post that up, man, you can make some good profit margin.
So I think I want to do that. So I think with the channel, that's, it's definitely going to follow the vending and more music videos. I definitely want to, like I said, I got a huge catalog of videos and I'd like to make more music videos, but they're, time consuming and everything else. But I'm still trying to figure out like a good schedule. I want to go live more because I really like hanging out with my audience. Everybody's so cool.
I love that.
And, just keep progress, man. Just try to make every video a little better than the last video if I can, and just keep learning as much as I can about the platform and grow, man. Like really, like I want to do this full time. I like to be able to make a video every day because I have the time, So That would be
Right.
cool. I'd be down for that.
No, that would be super cool. And so I know you posted something on the community tab, so I'm going to go ahead and run through a couple of questions that some of your subscribers had for the
Okay.
podcast.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Jay Blum 21 wants to know what motivated you to get into your side hustles.
So Reyes has a great line about this one, and it's like, the PG&E bill. You know what I mean? So, man, I don't know. So I think we kind of touched on it before, as just being like having all the energy and creative energy that I do have. Like, I need to be doing something. So the more things that I got going on, the better. A lot of my side hustles, like my painting makes all the money that makes the money. The side hustles are more or less to like learn new things.
Plus for
And to
YouTube,
make
for good content.
for YouTube, for good content. Absolutely. And,
Right.
it's just something to do, man. And honestly, the way I look at it too is like, I could be like, people are like, oh, you can do anything. You can go to the movies, or you can go, go golfing or whatever.
Play
But
Xbox or, yeah.
cool thing about, dumping money into businesses is the money like is kind of sitting there. It's like a savings account. You know what I mean? So like
Right.
we're saying, if I do want to end up selling the vending machines, I can, and I get my money back, and I could do something else with the money. Whereas if I'm going golfing or going to a football game or whatever, that money's just gone,
Right. And then also you're teaching your kids as well. You're teaching them about entrepreneurship, about, everything that goes along with it. And that's why I like a lot of the vending channels, is just because a lot of them push the same kind of like the kids are, helping them out, and they're just teaching them good entrepreneurship.
Yeah, there's a lot of young like vending channels, which is cool seeing. Those kids will probably be millionaires, dude, by the time they're 30 for sure.
Love it,
A lot of
man.
them.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about getting guap when I was 13, man. I was playing baseball and riding my bike. I wasn't thinking about being a millionaire, dude. No
Dude,
way.
I wish YouTube was popping back then, man. I would have, I just maybe it probably was. It's just one of those things when you're younger, you don't have that same confidence to just put
I
yourself
don't
out
know.
there as much. I don't know. Okay, so let's get into the next one. Charles Kaiser says, how big do you see your vending machine business getting, and what are your plans with future endeavors?
So vending machine business, how big do I plan on it getting? Big enough to where all I have to do is vending and YouTube. That would be awesome, right? So I just
You
go
think
out
you
every
could get it
day.
to that point?
Yeah, I think I could, but it would require a lot of like sacrifices in other areas.
Right.
But yeah, I'd like to get my vending channel or my vending business into some 24-hour locations, like some factories.
Yeah.
I think that I could be doing well. And that's kind of what I was talking about, flipping the machine. So I guess the vending machine plan is to keep going where it's going now. I'm still teetering on selling my locations, buying new machines, and trying to find new banger locations.
Right.
And then what was the second part of that question?
Your plans for the future endeavors. So I guess we kind of talked on that.
Yeah, we kind of, I'm trying to blow up my YouTube channel.
Yeah, man. And then, the cool thing about YouTube is diverse. You can have multiple streams of income. It's just all about, I don't know, getting the views, man, and just, I don't know.
Yeah, just putting yourself out there, just doing it, really.
Yeah, the thing that's kind of bad about YouTube that I don't like necessarily is once you get to a certain point, it's just like you just want more and more views, and you forget that like behind all the views are like actual people. And like I think it's important to keep that first and foremost,
Yeah, I do. That's something I often remind myself. Like if I get like 100 views, that's 100 people, dude.
100
you know what I mean?
people, absolutely.
And even you get 10 comments, that's still 10 people. I played shows to less than 10 people. You know what I mean? So it's like,
and
10 people.
I watch tons of YouTube, dude. I don't comment on every video, like I comment on maybe 5 or 10%, maybe. And so the last question is, ever thought of quitting vending machines?
So not quitting, but definitely re-strategizing. And I think, we kind of talked about that, flipping the locations.
Absolutely.
Quitting bulk, I might see in the near future for sure.
Yeah, like I said, juice, not necessarily with the squeeze. Plus, it's not your main thing, and it takes a lot of time. Bulk vending is, moving the machines, maintenance on the machine. Something's always going wrong. It's just, it's rough, man. And unless you got a lot of money and you can buy like really, really nice machines, and you got a lot of time. If that was your full-time gig, I mean, I could see you, doing things different. But it is what it is.
And honestly, I'll probably never get it. I'll probably always just keep doing what I'm doing because it's just I guess it's what I've settled into,
Absolutely. All right, Tim. Well, that pretty much wraps it up. Do you want to give any last words, maybe of encouragement, last words of
So
anything?
yeah, I got a line. I don't know if I stole it or where it came from, but it's definitely something I remind myself of a lot. And it's just, progress, then perfection. You know what I mean? Just keep moving forward. Don't be worried about being 100% on like if you want to try something, because you'll get there. If you want to try something, just try it. Just get out there, do it. If you're on the fence, just jump, man. Just do it. You can always climb back over. You know what I mean?
For sure. For sure. All right, awesome, man. Well, I will have a link to your YouTube channel down below. And yeah, that's going to conclude this episode. We'll go and wrap it up. My name is Justin. This is Forever Self-Employed. And until next time, hustle hard and get that money, baby. Peace.